wanting to demonstrate a little thing I built. First of all, for those of you who can't easily see, but this is essentially a hex nut. I've got a string for a reason. It'll make sense in a moment. But basically, six-sided circular object. You can even see the threads inside, I think, with some of the angles. Anyways, the real point is that there's, of course, six sides. There's a 6, and on the opposite side of the 6 is the 1, and then here's the 2, on the opposite side that's the 5, 3, and with a couple of rotations we get a 4. Now the concept here is very simple. Basically, if you ever need a bunch of D6s, this is a good solution to how you can get all this stuff done really quick when you have a lot of random probability generation. A couple of issues with using used nuts, like for example this one right here, you see the damage, is that of course, also the probabilities and may cause things to, sort of screw up your results a little bit. Happens, we'll live with it. Especially if you can get new ones, maybe use a nail file or a file to take any rough edges off and make everything look for it's really nice. So basically what I've got is the concept here of you take and do things like roll dice, basically, using the hex nut saw string, sort of as a kind of really cheap ghetto way to do your little business if you need to real quick on the sly. So basically I wanted to show off that we've got a simple method here. And over here you can see my knee. La la la, my knee. So what I do is I take the dice, roll them right here, boom, put them down, and I've got a random set of numbers. 4, 6, 6, 4, 1, 4, 3, 4, 4, 2, 4, 2. Dang, that'd be really good for prowlers and paragons. Let's see if we've got something slightly different. I've got a 3, 6, let's see, some of these numbers aren't great. I've been getting a little bit aware. So 3, 6, 3, 3, 1, 2, 6, 3, 1, 6, 5, 6. I'm going to start calling these my lucky prowlers and paragons dice. They may ban me for them though. But no, this is actually pretty good. 4, 2, 5, 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, 4, and this one's a 3. I switched it over to a 6, but it's actually a 3 when it landed, which is something you probably have to be careful of. And basically you roll it. It's not too heavy, dangerous, but it's tough. Right now I'm just using a basic string. I've got a nail on the end in order to make sure that the dice don't fall off. But if I need to take them off, I of course have the other end that's just string. So basic, simple, fun, fast way to build your D6s. One of the things I wanted to mention is that I do have the numbers on opposite sides of each other. Like, the 3 is opposite the 4. It all adds up to 7. If we had hex nuts, and I've looked for these and haven't found any, we do have hex nuts in 12. There's in 4s, and I think there's maybe an 8. So you get some of the numbers. There aren't 10-sided hex dice. It's a engineering mechanical issue thing, but the really simple concept is that you take and you build these things just straight up doing the basic, you build them in the computer world and then you 3D print them and you're done. Just make sure it's got, a hole, flat sides, so that way it doesn't rub up against the other dice very much. And if you want to, you can either 3D print it or handwrite the numbers on them, and you're done. This one's a little tiny for writing on, especially width-wise. And these, because they have the built-in nylon, to prevent issues, as well as these little edges here, might catch on stuff on your other die and lock them together so you've got the numbers moving at the same time. And that's bad because, we don't want that happening. Same thing with the used nuts. Might alter the probabilities somewhat over a perfectly printed one. And if you notice the ridging here, same issue, worried that these two could, lock together and line up. And not to accuse people of cheating, but it could be used as a mechanical way to prevent the easy stuff from being done real well. So that's basically a fun little quick crafting idea. I'm going to eventually use this concept to build a device and essentially, you know, have people where you can wear necklaces and you've got all the dice you need, especially for people who play Hero System, Champions, things like that. One of the concepts I did have also was using washers to help tell them apart. And the other problem is that the washers prevent, especially this size washer, will prevent the dice from spinning through friction. Again, so if you're doing the whole rub them on your, well, not rub them on your leg, but if you're running the dice across your thing as a way, these size washers will all prevent you from doing that. If you can find small enough washers that are actually a tiny bit smaller than the hex nuts, probably be okay, enabling you to run everything together and keep track of the spacing. So that way, for example, I can tell instantly there's 4 here, this one's thicker, so it's another 2, this is another 2, so you've got a set of 4, a set of 2, a set of 2, a set of 3, and a set of 1. You also want to make sure that you don't put a really tiny one in between some of the larger ones, because again, no friction, won't rotate. So that's just sort of a couple of thoughts and ideas for my little brother to help sell him on the idea that we've got these things going on. So, well, that's it for today. Thank you very much and have a good day.